Good morning, or welcome back to Nibiru 144. I'm just going to do a quick video introducing Ansuz, the rune Ansuz, which is the fourth rune in the first Aett. Hang on. So this is Ansuz. It is the letter A in the Outer Futhorc alphabet. Can sometimes get mixed up with Fihu, which actually does look like an F. Whereas the Ansuz rune points downwards rather than up. The lines point downwards rather than up. Now, Ansuz is also known as the breath of God, or mouth or river mouth, because of the communication, and it's all about communication and words that flow. It's also referred to as the messenger rune or signals from higher power. So this is the rune of Odin, because Odin was the god that sacrificed an awful lot in the pursuit of wisdom and knowledge, and to understand the power of the spoken word. So when we're talking about this as a communication rune, we're talking about it on a much higher level, sort of like teachers, academics who bring across learning and knowledge to a student on that kind of a level, not an everyday conversation type communication. This is to do with communication at a higher level. So it symbolizes the divine inspiration and communication, and that breathing life into the physical world. But that's breathing life, or the river flow, again, of intellectual communication. And so when this turns up in a reading, it is also a sign of protection, and that you are guided from the higher realms and the higher powers, and that you're being asked to listen strongly to your intuition and trust the wisdom that flows through and within you. It speaks very strongly about the power of words, and how you use words, and how they can be used to create and destroy. So, for example, even looking at the political agenda out in the world, you can see that the words being used at the moment are being used from a power that destroys, doesn't build people up. It doesn't spread knowledge. It just tears down and destroys. So words do have very, very a powerful influence. And as saying I heard once, that's why it's called spelling. It's all about spells. Words are spells, and that you need to be careful. That's why I'm saying you always need to be careful how you define your words and how you speak your words to other people, because they do have an impact. So this one does warn, it does bring up a warning to be aware of how you use your words, and that they are able to be used to either build someone up, or you can tear them down. So how you wield this is really important, because if you're wielding it in the wrong manner, it won't be backed by the power of the higher realms, and it will come back on you tenfold. I was saying, this is a rune of Odin, and it will depend highly on what other runes come up around it as to what its meaning was. But the rune does bring forward emotional and intellectual intelligence, and how you use that, especially in your learning and your teaching of that learning. But with that will come sacrifice. And sacrifice is just in the commitment that you have to put forward into learning the path of knowledge that you follow, and how you deliver it, and not always, and speaking your truth and being authentic. And that's not always going to be received well by people, because people really don't live in a world at the moment where they can handle truth. They're still living in la la land. So Odin's sacrifices for his wisdom and knowledge, he lost an eye at the well for wisdom, and he hung upside down from the tree of life for 9 days with his own spear pierced through him, bleeding and in severe pain. And it wasn't till he fell that he spied the runes and was able to reach out and grab them, and in doing that obtained the knowledge of the runes. So with this intellectual intelligence does come sacrifice, because not everyone's going to get on board with what you're trying to say or what you're trying to bring through, because they're not at that level. And so it can be a very solitude pathway. And a lot of people with this knowledge and wisdom at the level of Odin keep it quite secret, keep it hidden, because they're sick of being ostracized and judged, judged, Jordan, thrown in prison, burnt at the stake, for whatever opinions that they have, for bringing through the truth and being their authentic selves. It's not seen as a positive thing to go out into the world and be your authentic self. And it's become just an easier path to be someone that is not you innately, and that you're trying to fit in with other people. You're trying to make your way in the world, which means if you're not following their pathway or their thought patterns, which you can be easily manipulated into going down a pathway that you just does not sit right with you. So this rune is quite a powerful rune. And when it comes up in a reading, again, depends on the other runes around it. It is really about expecting the unexpected to come up. It is always a call to that person, and it's a call for a new life, a change in life and a change in pathways. It's a cycle of initiation into that wisdom and that knowledge and that power. And it does focus heavily on self-change, and the painful processes you need to put in place to obtain that wisdom and knowledge. It's not given away freely. It is not something you're just going to be given. You're going to have to work for it. And it could bring up some areas in yourself that need to be sacrificed and painful to let go of. So it then is also a need to integrate unconscious motive with conscious intent. And it's about bringing those two into balance. In reverse, this is going to represent failed communications, lack of clarity, lack of awareness, feeling inhibited to accepting what's on offer to you. And there can be a lot of overwhelmment and confusion, especially mentally, if this comes up in reverse. And those will highlight areas that you need to work on, or need we say it? I don't like to say it. Little shadow areas that you need to work on, and we will rename that when I go forward and do shadow work with people. So that, in a nutshell, is Ansuz, a very powerful God rune, Odin rune, and you're backed by higher realms when you're traveling down the path of this. I also just wanted to say that if you are a energy worker and working with chakras, Ansuz is obviously the throat chakra. So if you got hold of one of these runes, the Ansuz rune, and place it on your clients in the throat chakra, and while you're doing your practice, it's going to immensely increase the power of that treatment you do with your clients. So throat chakra, very, very powerful. So I will be working on the next two runes, which will be Raido and Kinaz, and I'll bring them through as soon as I can. Thanks for listening, and have a great day. See you later.